On both sides. Gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to caution you right now to keep this fight clean at all times, protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck, Minnesota. Touch them up.
Chicka chicka woo woo! Chicka chicka woo woo! You know what that is, ladies and gentlemen? That's the have fun on the Indys steam train, going right into your ears, straight into your brain. I'm Abe, and this is my partner,
Jeff.
And let's get started. Energetic as fuck today. Had a long week at work, slaving it away. But now, Jeff, it's time for some pro wrestling, some MMA, and some boxing. Yeah. So, Jeff, what do you want to talk about first? I know the WWE had like a huge fucking weekend. They had a huge weekend.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm guilty of. I didn't think the greatest Royal Rumble was going to be a big deal.
I didn't think it was either. I actually thought it was going to be on Sunday. So, my days were all mixed up.
I didn't think it was a big deal until I turned on the show and I see that they're in a fucking stadium. Not a 12,000 seat arena. A goddamn stadium in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know if I got the complete count. That was huge. Fireworks shooting out the top. That was one of the biggest arenas I think I've seen them in. I want an actual count. I didn't catch it. Or Google it. My bad, folks.
No joke. It was a really good show. I know WWE gets shit on a lot.
Yeah.
They get shit on a lot for sometimes putting lackluster shows, that people don't really enjoy. But it's been Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and the greatest Royal Rumble. All been good.
I have to admit, and I'm the source to do it, the WWE's been on fire since the beginning of this year, 2018.
As much as people love to hate on Vince, as much as people love to hate on Triple H, as much as people love to hate on the McMahons, the last couple of months have been fucking exquisite. I love the WWE. And what are you doing? You're over here showing me Bullet Club signs.
Always,
Bullet
every
Club?
day.
Really, we're talking about the greatest Royal Rumble, which had my favorite wrestler in it, by the way, Randy Orton.
We all know that's not your favorite.
However, let's start it off. The show couldn't have started off in a better way.
Really.
Triple H and John Cena. Classic WWE match. Classic. You know what was weird about that match? It reminded me of the matches back in, 93. But it had, a modern twist to it, dude.
Yeah.
That match was the perfect match to start off the whole event.
Yeah. Definitely a WWE classic. Actually, probably one of the best matches that I had seen up to a certain point there. So, I really enjoyed that match, actually. Now, moving on, the second match was the Cruiserweight Championship.
See, goddamn it, dude. The Cruiserweight, when people talk about Cruiserweights, it hits my heart a little bit because when I was in pro wrestling, I'm a small guy. I weighed about 170 pounds. I'm 5'6". So even though I knew that the way to be a main event superstar wasn't to be your typical cruiserweight, I had to study the cruiserweights. I was forced to study the cruiserweights here and there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry, but what the fuck is WWE doing?
Yeah.
WCW did it better.
Exactly.
With Jushin Thunder Liger, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho. What is WWE doing? They have a guy. I'm sorry, but who wrestled in that match? Do you remember their names? You didn't even write them down, did you?
I know who it was.
Jeff,
okay?
I know. You're the pro wrestling
was.
section of this fucking show.
I know who
and you didn't
it
even
was.
write down who they were. Who was it then?
It was the WWE Cruiserweight Champion Cedric Alexander.
Okay.
And Kalisto.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly.
See, ladies and gentlemen, this is how they work as a great tag team right here. Okay.
Always.
Those guys are great wrestlers, right? There's no doubt about it. From their match, hold on, because I seen you make a face already. From their match, they're obviously great wrestlers. They're very athletic, and they know how to do the moves to a fucking T.
They are good.
However, Jeff, they have no personality.
Mm-hmm.
Their champion,
Yes.
Cedric Alexander, is like a creator wrestler from the WWE video games.
Like when you pressed random back in the day and something popped up. Like that's what you got. Cookie cutter.
See, but I don't
Cookie
understand.
cutter wrestler.
You know what they need? They need like a CM Punk in that division. They need the Cruiserweight division needs somebody that's bitter and needs somebody that's going to show all their feelings about how the Cruiserweights have been screwed, about how it's a big man's business. They need somebody that's going to do all of that.
I can agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Because right now it's floundering. And no joke, by the next podcast, I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to research it. What are the ratings for you for
205 Live, you mean? I don't know.
You understand? Here. See, because this is the problem. This is the problem. The problem is the fact that if this whole UFC Cruiserweight division flounders, who are they going to blame it on? They're not going to blame it on the company. They're going to blame it on the Cruiserweights. And at one point, I want to say, this is going to get me killed. Rightfully so, because the WWE is trying so hard to get the Cruiserweight division over. So hard that they have their own fucking TV show. When in the history of the wrestling industry, including WCW, which gave respect to some of these Cruiserweight wrestlers, when in the whole fucking history of this industry has the Cruiserweights had their own goddamn show? So you can't tell me that the WWE isn't trying to do their best to push the Cruiserweights. There comes a point where you gotta look at the wrestler and be like, hey, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, okay. We were talking about ratings. As far as ratings go, how many 205 Live shows have we watched together? Exactly.
A handful at the most.
Have we? I've not watched one, I'm pretty sure.
You're full of shit. We watched one here in the studio.
Actually, we did.
A lot of months
watched
ago,
the one with,
and it was like either the third or fourth UFC 205 Live show. I can't remember.
WWE 205 Live.
Right.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We know how we should really feel about this. Well, I know how I feel about this. Kenta, Hideo Itami is in the Cruiserweight division, and he's tagging with Akira Tozawa.
Okay. See, God fucking damn it, dude. I love the WWE. I've loved him since I was a fucking child. You're telling me you're gonna have Cedric Alexander as the WWE Cruiserweight Champion when you have Kenta, a.k.a. Hideo Itami, as in the fucking roster, in the company. He already has a following from Japan. The American wrestling fans might not know who he is, but the WWE can tell them who he is. Do you understand what I'm saying? They have the promotional power to fucking do it. Cedric Alexander is a good wrestler. He deserves all the success he's gotten.
I'm sure he's champion.
I'm sure he's worked hella hard.
I guarantee he deserves to be WWE Cruiserweight Champion for now, at least.
But why is Kenta just being in a tag team?
But why do you know him as Hideo Itami?
Kenta, aka Hideo Itami, is a seasoned vet. He knows what he's doing. He's main evented across Japan for fucking generations, dude.
The WWE could build the Cruiserweight division around him like they're trying to build the WWE title around Nakamura.
Exactly.
Hideo Itami is that guy. He would be perfect for that because the Cruiserweight division needs that, like you said earlier.
And you know what the crazy part about all that is? Is the fact that Hideo Itami adapted to the WWE style.
Beautifully, actually. Beautifully.
He adapted to the WWE style. Because let's face facts, you can't come over from Japan and start kicking people in the face.
Yeah.
It just ain't gonna fucking happen.
Yeah, it's not.
You can't do that because it's not good for career longevity, which is something that you people have a hard time fucking understanding, knowing that WWE is one of the companies that goes on the road the most out of everybody.
You're lucky to get a day or two off a week.
Exactly.
With WWE. Kenta, that is something no one takes into account.
Kenta is not the Kenta of Japan. But in my opinion, he's trying his damnedest to adapt to the WWE style, which is what you have to do if you want to survive the American professional wrestling scene. So, when you go on Twitter and when you go on Facebook and you ask me these questions about, oh my god, Kenny Omega is not in the WWE, the Young Bucks aren't in the WWE, even though they're putting on, guaranteed fact, they're putting on 5-star matches.
Yes.
Hell, guess what? A couple months ago, I seen the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and
at Strong Style Evolved.
It was Kenny
right?
Omega and who, though?
Excuse me. The Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Come on.
I saw...
It's the hottest tag team in wrestling right now,
I
folks,
saw the Young
right?
Bucks versus the Golden Lovers live and in person at New Japan Pro Wrestling at Long Beach, California, 2018.
I spoiler alert. Yes, we've been to
and guess
all
what?
New Japan shows in America so far.
And guess what? It was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my entire life live.
Especially live, yes.
Dear Lord, it was everything I dreamed it would be. But, with that in mind, the biggest stage on planet Earth is Titan Towers. The biggest stage on planet Earth is the WWE. And if you want to make it to the WWE, you have to learn to adapt. You have to learn to adapt. We all love the Young Bucks style. We all love the Omega style. I love it. I will pay a ticket every goddamn time they come to California to go watch them.
Have so far.
But if you want to make it to the main stage, you have to adapt. Guess what? Mick Foley did it. He adapted. American Dragon adapted. CM Punk, with all his rebellious fucking personality, adapted. You can't just go in there and forearm people 20 times in the face in the first 5 minutes of the match when you're in the WWE. You know what makes making it to the WWE hard is the fact that you have to wrestle a certain way, and it tests your skills as a pro wrestler because you're more limited. And you're more limited for a good reason, because you're on the road a lot. You're on pay-per-views a lot. There's a lot of money invested in you.
Just because you don't see them on TV that night doesn't mean they're not doing a house show somewhere in the middle of America. WWE does do the most horrifyingly strenuous schedule out of any professional wrestling company ever. And I got to throw you some props there. That Mick Foley one, that was beautiful. I love that.
Because
I loved Mick Foley group.
Because what was Mick Foley doing before he got to the WWE? From what I remember, gashes all over his face, his body, exploding death matches with Terry Funk. And guess what? You know why he succeeded? Because he was smart enough to bring that style to the WWE, but he changed it. He adapted it to that style of wrestling. You have to, every company you go to, you have to adapt. If you go from ROH to Japan, you adapt. Because as much as ROH tries to be strong style, and they're not Japanese style the way it is in the homeland of Japan.
ROH?
It's good, but it's not straight up Japanese style.
ROH is the pioneer of strong style evolved, as I believe we've talked about before.
Exactly. Speaking of evolved, you know what I was noticing lately? Apparently TNA did a show with... Well, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I called it TNA. I'm a couple beers in. Forgive me. It's not TNA. They're
gonna get so mad at you.
It's Anthem. Wait, it's not Anthem. It's Impact Wrestling.
It's Impact. It's TNA. It's the same thing.
I was watching Impact Wrestling, and I noticed that it was Lucha Underground versus Impact Wrestling, right? Which is... I always love crossovers like that. I always love crossovers like that. And it was during what?
That was the show they had during Mania weekend.
Yeah. So I went back and I was watching that show just because it interested me a lot. There's a lot of pro wrestling since I don't get to catch everything while it's live. I was watching that show and I noticed, okay, so in Japan now strong style is evolved. It is not the same hard hitting style that it was when it was alive during Kenta Kobashi, Misawa.
Unless we're watching Noah.
All those guys, right? It's a bit different now. It's still very good. It's still very good, but it's different. You know what else I noticed? I think Lucha Underground is Lucha evolved.
Yes. I agree 100%. Yes.
When I watch Lucha Underground, it feels like Lucha, except more real.
Yes.
The moves are more impactful, and everything is more crisp.
Faster.
Instead of slow motion, and it looks like they're at practice.
And I'll let you handle the explanation of that. You're the professional as far as it's concerned. What I mean, the problems that we would see watching Lucha back in the day.
And that was my issue. When I was a pro wrestler, I feel that I should have studied Lucha more, but when I would turn it on sometimes, man, it would look like they were rehearsing. It wouldn't look like they were in front of 10,000 people.
Right.
There would be 10,000 people in the arena, but it didn't look like they were wrestling like there was 10,000 people there. Their moves looked awesome, their spots looked awesome, but they looked soft.
Slow.
Lucha Underground has the exact same spots, the exact same moves, but they look fast, crisp, and painful.
And your favorite word, not to pun this company, impactful.
Exactly.
Important.
Impactful. And I've always said that. If you're going to use a steel chair, make it look impactful.
Impactful.
No matter what you do, make it look impactful. Because if you don't make it look impactful, it's going to look fake.
It's going to look fake.
And we all know in the wrestling business, the word fake is like cancer. Nobody likes to say that.
It's a good thing. That word doesn't get thrown around too much anymore, and let's not get stuck on that. So, moving on.
All right, so moving on. So the first match of the WWE Greatest Royal Rumble, sorry for our rant.
And we went off on a tangent. We said Cena and Triple H was
John Cena versus,
great match.
Was John Cena over
match.
Triple H, classic WWE, great start to the show.
One of my favorites, and that's... he'll tell you, hard for me maybe to say, I think, but I have no problem with it.
We just covered the Cedric Alexander.
Yes, we just did the Cruiserweight
match.
Championship match. Cedric.
And here's something interesting.
Cedric retained, correct?
Yes.
That's sad, huh? Why did I say correct, folks?
Stop being weird.
Moving on.
Stop being weird.
Moving on. It's not like I didn't pay attention to that match. Moving on.
The next match was kind of interesting, in my opinion. The Raw Tag Team Championship. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt defeated The Bar.
The Bar.
First off, in my opinion, it was a good match. It did its purpose. It was entertaining. Also, man, that's crazy. So, the WWE seems like they really want Matt Hardy to be a main event guy. Because I can't remember the exact years, but I do remember there was a point where Matt Hardy was so fucking popular. Selling out arenas all over the United States, selling pay-per-views.
Wait.
You remember when Jeff Hardy had that?
We're talking about Jeff, right? Because you did say Matt.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm talking about Jeff. There was a point where Jeff Hardy was selling out arenas around the world. He would come out with that face paint. Remember that glowing face paint?
Yes.
Almost like a rave.
The glowing face paint. The highlight of, what do I call that era of SmackDown?
I don't know. All I know was that at one point Jeff Hardy was the main event guy. And he was bringing in all the money. He was at his peak. And at his peak, Jeff Hardy said, you know what? Working this hard is not worth it. And took off. Do you remember that? At the height of his popularity in the WWE, he left.
I remember him leaving, but was it that he took off because working this hard was too much, or that because the wellness policy was starting to be enforced?
He was guilty of failing some wellness policy, but it wasn't that. I sincerely doubt it was that. It looked like he was burnt out from WWE. It looked like Jeff Hardy is one of those people who's like, I don't give a fuck what job I have as long as I'm happy, and I'm not happy here.
I can understand the just the burnt out on wrestling.
And I will respect Jeff Hardy for that, but god damn, does Matt Hardy not deserve a singles push?
Does Matt Hardy...
Hold on a minute. Holy fuck! Is Matt Hardy not clearly the one that's into wrestling the most out of both those brothers? And now he finally has a gimmick with that Woken stuff that will work. That's been proven to work.
That has already been proven to work.
At least for now. And I guarantee you the WWE can make it work on the big stage.
They've already found a way to make it work, being that they weren't allowed to use it
originally.
And they're still pushing
him. They're still pushing him because they got him and Bray Wyatt with the belts.
Yeah, winning the tag team titles. How many times has Matt Hardy won a tag team title without Jeff?
I really hope that in the future, Matt Hardy gets a singles push in the WWE. He can do it. He really can do it. The WWE, right now, at this point, needs another paranormal character.
Yes, they do.
The Undertaker is pretty much gone.
Yes, he is.
Kane is nearing the end of his career.
And running for mayor of his town.
And Bray Wyatt, the guy who had ability to do it, not only the wrestling ability to do it, not only the fact that he had the heart to do it, that he proved by going through all the rigorous bullshit that WWE makes you, puts you through when you're a new guy, and they still buried his fucking ass. Don't do it with Matt Hardy. Give him a chance. Give him a fucking chance.
I 100% think that the role should be reversed right now. Matt Hardy should be United States Champion. Jeff Hardy should be Raw Tag Team Champion with Bray Wyatt. It wouldn't work that well with those two, but as far as like accolade-wise and deserving, Matt should be United States champion right now by himself in a singles career.
Yeah, but you know why Jeff Hardy is the United States champion, right?
Because he sells T-shirts.
Exactly. Because this United States championship for Jeff Hardy is just the beginning before he goes on to the World Heavyweight title or the WWE title. And Again. And the reason why I say that is because it's very obvious, dude. I want people to go on YouTube and search his last run in the WWE. Not TNA. Search his last run in the WWE, and you'll see how popular he was.
Oh, they know. I want people to go on YouTube and try to find his first appearance in ROH.
Yeah, and the WWE is not stupid, and they're saying, you know what? We noticed your last run. We noticed how much fucking money you brought in. So guess what? We want to do it again.
You missed what I said.
What did you say?
I want people to go on YouTube and find his first appearance in ROH. I don't think you'll find it.
Why do you want to see that? Why do you want to see a wrestler... See?
Okay,
I'm going to do a full 60 on you. See, we're going to talk about what Jeff's talking about because a lot of you may not know because this was an era of ROH
have an
that
idea.
was a long time ago.
Actually, I think I might have it on an ROH DVD that I have like a highlight one from the late 2000s, actually. I think I actually might have that match.
So explain, Jeff, what happened? I'll let you explain it, and I'm gonna delve on that.
It was a very long time ago, and Jeff Hardy had just left the WWE for the first time and showed up in ROH wearing a mask that he took off in the beginning of the match, which is very much like a Japanese-style thing. And all I remember from that match was everyone in the crowd chanting, "Don't come back, don't come back, don't come back," to Jeff Hardy.
Exactly.
You can go ahead and say what you're going to say, because I know you're probably going to school me. I hate Jeff Hardy. I hate a lot of people. But I hate Jeff Hardy, so go ahead, let me have it.
Okay, so he went to Ring of Honor, and he did his Willow...
Don't come back, don't come back. Oh, wait, oh my goodness, you're right. He was Willow in that mask, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He wasn't called that. Wow.
He took off the mask. He took off the mask in the
right.
middle of the match.
Go ahead.
Somehow.
In the beginning of the match, before it started.
Okay.
I believe.
So he went to Ring of Honor, right? And the reason why he went to Ring of Honor is because him and Matt really admired
wrestling.
Ring of Honor.
Or wrestling in general.
Ring of Honor reminded them of the company they used to have. That they had, where they were trying to be innovative and be different than everything else. So Jeff Hardy goes to Ring of Honor, gets completely shit on by all these smart marks.
Possibly the worst thing I have ever seen, like, for getting booed out of the building.
I don't think I've seen a worse one than that.
I don't.
And you guys should YouTube it. Willow and the Wisp, Ring of Honor.
No,
Jeff Hardy, Ring of Honor.
It's probably like Jeff Hardy first appearance. We can't even give you an actual name for it. If I have it on a DVD, like I believe I do, I will figure out a way to get it on YouTube.
Okay.
I promise you, folks.
I don't remember exactly what he went under. All I know
he was still Jeff Hardy.
He went in that arena. He went in that arena. And there's a part that pisses me off. He tried his hardest, dude. He went there because he loves that kind of wrestling, but the fans automatically shitted on him, not because of the quality of his wrestling, but because he was a WWE guy. And
that is totally why. I agree with you 100%. It was just because he was Jeff Hardy from the WWE. I agree with you. I agree.
And good job there, smart marks. Shit on a guy that actually gives a fuck about your product, that has connections all over the wrestling business, all over the world.
You're right.
Good fucking job.
You're right.
Hey, how about we give the guy a chance? And if he sucks, he sucks. But how about we give the guy a chance? You know what I'm saying? Jeff Hardy has obviously proven himself if he's main eventing WWE shows all over the world for years on end, and the WWE was begging him to stay when he was trying to fucking quit when he was at the top of his run.
I agree with you a lot because I do have, like, I remember seeing him there, and I did have thoughts of, like, wow, he really could do some amazing things with some of these guys here, because it was like it was back in the era of, like, Amazing Red and SAT, the beginning days of ROH that a lot of you probably don't even know or have never even seen.
Anyways, Jeff Hardy is one of the pioneers for innovative shit.
Yeah, he really is. He really is.
With the tables out of the chairs and all that bullshit, he was one of the first ones to start doing flippy shit all over the ropes. What's that move called? Poetry in Motion? Or no, that's not poetry.
The Swanton?
No, not the Swanton, the one where he does a corkscrew.
Oh, yes, I believe that is Poetry in Motion.
Yeah, dude, he was one of the first ones to start bringing a different style to WWE when WWE was still nothing but the old school 90s style.
I have to totally agree with you. I was actually going to say that we need to watch all the TLC matches again from the beginning of 2000 because it's been so long. They're classic and great matches. If you've never seen them or you weren't alive at that point or were just a young one, look up all of the TLC matches from the beginning of 2000, like 2000, 2001, I believe.
They were a treat.
Watch them. They were
definitely a treat.
You'll know why the Young Bucks are the Young Bucks.
Okay, but anyways, our ADD asses have got to get back to the Greatest Royal Rumble. So
the what?
Shut the fuck up. You know what the fuck that was. Thousands of people in an open door fucking stadium.
The biggest amount of people I've ever seen the WWE have again that paid hundreds of dollars because they're princes to be at the show. Anyways, where are we at? Where are we at?
Hey, you're probably right, but goddamn, I'm looking at this Greatest Royal Rumble pictures right now. I'm literally on the WWE website right now looking at the Greatest Royal Rumble pictures, and you know what I see? I don't see anybody.
A packed crowd.
I see a packed crowd. I see a show that looks like WrestleMania, and I don't see a company anywhere out there that can do this all over the world. They're not just doing it in America.
No, I know.
Jeff.
I agree.
Hey, Jeff.
I agree.
Jeff.
Who's going... Okay.
Hey, stop. Can you
I know
stop?
what you're going to say.
Can you
Go
stop?
ahead.
Can you stop coughing?
Coughing?
Because you're coughing all over the place, and what are you doing? Like, it makes the podcast sound like shit. Like, you're coughing all over the place, and I'm trying to talk, and like, what? Like, what's going on?
Oops.
Dear God, dude. Come on, man. We're trying to be professional here.
Yes,
Dear
exactly.
Lord.
Anyways, we just talked about the whole Hardy situation, which was matches that were back to back.
At the Greatest Royal Rumble, Jeff Hardy defeated Jinder Mahal. In my opinion, I'm not even a Jeff Hardy fan. I'm glad he won, and I hope they keep pushing him. So we're gonna move on from that.
Jeff, I hope they push Matt.
So
we're gonna move on from that. We're
not gonna go through every single match. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, let's not even.
You know what I was surprised at? The WWE went balls out in this when they had that Royal Rumble match.
Uh-huh.
Dude, they had a ladder match with Seth Rollins beating The Miz, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe. Dude, what the fuck's going on with Samoa Joe? I don't know.
I can't.
I don't know what's going on.
Folks,
Samoa Joe is one of my favorite wrestlers. By the way, Samoa Joe is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Samoa Joe is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I really don't.
You know what, man? I feel bad. I feel bad for Samoa Joe because I don't want to say this, and I don't think it's true. I hope he didn't peak with that Kenta Kobashi match because after that Kenta Kobashi match, when it was him versus Kenta Kobashi at Ring of Honor, which I suggest all of you people watch.
If you haven't,
he went to TNA, right? He went to TNA. His run there, he was champion a lot. He was champion a lot, but it didn't feel like his reign meant anything.
Did he win the title when it was still the NWA title? Which
to be honest with you, I can't even remember what title he won.
I'm not sure. I know he was X Division champion quite a few times, and I'm sad that I can't be completely sure on this. I'm sure he did win the NWA title at least once or twice. But I agree with you. You know how much I love Samoa Joe.
And I feel bad because it looks like, from certain things that I see, it feels like Triple H is behind Samoa Joe.
Yes.
And it feels like Triple H understands Samoa Joe because of all the hard work he's put in throughout the years. But Samoa Joe can't get over, dude.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that injury, he got injured and he was out for a while, and he comes back and he just can't get over. It seems like everybody who used to be a true indie star is surpassing Samoa Joe. All the way from CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk got his main event run. Mm-hmm. American Dragon got his fucking main event run. All those guys got their aim. AJ Styles is fucking killing it. You know, it makes you wonder what he would have done if they would have hired him when he was 30.
AJ worked in other companies. It doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel
Samoa
like that
Joe,
at all.
Out of all the guys, the two people who never really... The three people that never really, in my opinion, got their dues was Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels... Oh, man, I had a good one, but I forgot.
It's okay. Joe has a chance. I agree with you.
Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and Loki.
Oh, Loki. Loki had a chance, too. I watched him kick Dolph Ziggler in the nose too hard.
That's the problem,
and
though.
they got rid of him the
we
day after.
We go back to our original point. You have to learn to adapt. Loki couldn't learn to adapt in TNA, and he couldn't learn to adapt in WWE because he wanted to kick people's face in. Dude, if you're gonna go down that route, you're gonna have to just stick with Japan. It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, we're at the 30-minute mark, which means we're about to take a break.
I'm Jeff, and we'll be right back.
Okay, Jeff, that was awkward as fuck. That was so awkward that I'm going to put this out there. You know why? You know why that was awkward, ladies and gentlemen? That was very awkward because we need sponsors. PW Insider, we need you to sponsor us. That moment wouldn't have been awkward. You all wouldn't have felt embarrassed for us if we had a sponsor that we could hawk the product.
We've got plenty of advertising space, folks.
Nah, but I love PW Insider, and I look at their news all the time. Michael Johnson, keep up with the good news. Dave Scherer, keep up with the good news. I love you guys. You know what I mean? I love High Spots, too. High Spots has all kinds of shit that I buy from it.
Oh, yeah, that I'm going to buy soon as well.
We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on land, sea, or air. So what were we talking about, Jeff? We were talking about the greatest Royal Rumble.
The greatest Royal Rumble.
What was the last match we talked about?
All right, we were just on, I believe, the Hardy situation. But let's move on. Let's go to the trainees and the Daivari brothers coming out.
Dude, you know what I can't believe? Is Daivari has been in and out of the WWE.
The original Daivari, we have to add.
So, he went from WWE, right? Mm-hmm. He was with that one Muhammad Hassan, which was a character that got killed by Spike TV. Because basically this character touched a lot of emotional points to the point where Spike TV said, you either get rid of the character or we get rid of your contract, WWE. Yeah. And obviously we all know that at that time, back in the day, WWE had contracts with Spike TV for Monday Night Raw, which is their biggest fucking show. They were making a lot of money. They didn't want to lose it. So they fired Muhammad Hassan, and they kept Daivari. Now, at first, people were like, why are you keeping Daivari? You know, who's Daivari? What's he doing?
We know who Daivari is.
Do you understand that Daivari one time did almost 1,000 squats with Chris Benoit to the point where he was pissing blood? All he wanted to do was belong on the roster of the WWE. So, I tune in this weekend to the WWE's Greatest Royal Rumble, and I see Daivari come out, and he's part of an angle. Now, the angle starts off, because they're in Saudi Arabia, it starts off with these guys that I'm assuming are Saudi Arabian independent wrestling stars.
We are assuming.
And they're in the ring, and they're talking about why they're grateful to be in this huge company in this huge moment in time. Daivari comes out with the Iranian flag, which, if you don't live under a rock, you know that Iran and Saudi Arabia don't really get along. So he's getting booed. He's doing his job the way he's supposed to do. But you know what really ticks me? Is the angle all of a sudden makes a quick 90-degree angle turn. All of a sudden, all the students from, all of those students start beating up. The trainees start beating up Daivari. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, excuse me? Excuse me? Why is Daivari getting beat up by all the trainees? Has he not proven himself that he's into pro wrestling? Has he not proven himself that he wants so hard to belong in the WWE locker room?
Trained by Chris Benoit, you've got to be. I say Chris.
He followed Chris Benoit for a while, and people don't want me to bring up Chris Benoit because he committed a murder.
I know.
Hey, guess what? Chris Benoit was a good wrestler. I don't care what anybody says. He was a murderer. I'm not saying he was a good person. I'm not saying what he did was justified. None of that stuff. But Chris Benoit, as a professional, was a great fucking wrestler. Was a great WWE character.
I don't care what you do in your personal life. What I see on TV is all I see. what happened was wrong, but Chris Benoit is an amazing professional wrestler.
Yes,
There's
he is.
nothing else to be said. Is, was, and forever will be, to coin a phrase.
Daivari looked up to this guy. Daivari shadowed this guy for a good year, 2 years. Did everything Chris Benoit did because Daivari wanted to show the WWE that he deserved his spot on the roster. And what do? They let the trainees beat the hell out of him in front of God knows how many thousands, because this team wasn't...
Hundreds of, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because
at least 100.
This team wasn't in a 15,000 seat basketball arena. This team was in an outdoor goddamn stadium in Saudi Arabia.
What are the numbers exactly? If you know the numbers exactly, hit us up on social media.
Please.
Have fun, OTI, on...
Hit us up on social media and give us the numbers. Give us how many people showed up at that event. You can reach us at Have Fun OTI on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Hit us up.
Yes.
We want to know. Leave your comments.
We don't know. We don't know at this moment, and we want to hear from you guys. Let us know. So, should I just recap the rest of the Greatest Royal Rumble?
Of course, we need to finish this up for everybody.
We need
Not
to
everybody
recap
got to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It was on during a weird time on Friday in the morning. Friday in the morning when everybody's at work.
Exactly. That's like a New Japan pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Anyways, let's go on from where we were at. Next up was AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title. I'm going to do a quick wrap-up here. I'm just going to go straight through what's left. It was a double count-out. So we still don't know who really is better, I guess. I'd still say it's AJ because who retained at Mania.
And I like that because if it was up to me, they would have this shit going on up till next November at Survivor Series. That's where they would end it, and then they would start a new feud for the next WrestleMania the next year.
That sounds beautiful.
They're great wrestlers.
I love that
They've
idea.
been in the business for years. They paid their dues. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you understand AJ Styles went from Bingo Hall, Ring of Honor, all the way to TNA, where TNA didn't know what the fuck they were doing at the time, all the way to the WWE. AJ Styles is the epitome of an indie wrestler. He paid his dues.
But does it ever feel like he belonged anywhere else?
Exactly. He fits so perfect in that WWE mold.
Beautifully. Moving on, we had Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match. I'm just going to tell you folks right now, spoiler alert. Rusev and Aiden English both ended up in a casket. Watch it for yourselves if you can. If not, you don't need to know much more.
They both ended up in the casket, huh?
You knew the Undertaker would bury them.
I love the Undertaker, though. I'm not going to lie.
He is the symbol of the WWE.
Yes.
One of the best wrestling characters and gimmicks ever of all time, without a doubt. Next up was the steel cage match for the WWE Universal title.
Hey. What the fuck? Are we watching an indie show or are we watching Japan?
I know.
When is the last time WWE had a ladder match, a cage match, a buried alive match, all in one show?
One show.
Saudi Arabia, you're fucking lucky. Good for you guys. You deserve it.
Was there not a male singles title defended on this show? Like every title was on the line too, which is always my favorite thing. He'll tell you that I love championship belts. So, moving on. Like I said, we are on the steel cage match.
Love championship belts, Jeff.
Oh.
You collect championship belts.
I collect replica championship belts.
I love your collection.
They're not the real things. I have a good collection, and I'm only going to continue to build upon it.
Good for you.
So, it started way back in the day with only one, and then another, but that's a different podcast for a different day. Once again, I am very hyped to say this over and over again. I'm just going to cut to the chase. You know what match I'm talking about. It was 6 German suplexes and an F5, and Brock Lesnar hit the ground before him. There we go. You know what happened. Brock Lesnar is still your Universal Champion. Moving on.
God damn, though. It's like every Brock Lesnar match consists of a dozen German suplexes and F5.
No.
And Brock Lesnar coming out supreme.
No, you are giving him too much athletic credit. It's only 6 German suplexes in an F5, my friend.
I love Brock Lesnar. I'm not gonna lie. I'm from the MMA/boxing world. I love him, but goddamn, sometimes in WWE I wonder. I'm like, can there be more than just German suplexes?
There is no doubt in my mind that Brock Lesnar could probably beat the shit out of anyone on the planet. If you have not seen Brock Lesnar shoot a Barrett M82 50 caliber sniper rifle, standing up like nothing and wooing and cheering at the end, look that up on YouTube. Put Brock Lesnar 50 cal. Look that up. Brock Lesnar is a legitimate badass, and that's why he doesn't have to do very much.
That's funny, dude. You've always been into guns. You're the gun enthusiast.
I am. That is one of my other mini hobbies and the only social media you'll find me on where you can send hate mail and other things too. Good luck. Won't find me.
Don't antagonize these people, for God's sakes.
They've only seen the tip of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. Anyways, the main event, the 50-man greatest Royal Rumble ever, which I assume is why they called it that.
You know what's funny? That 50 greatest man Royal Rumble. Man, I really thought Daniel Bryan would win that.
I mean, Daniel Bryan should have won that, but what was this thing for? What was he going to win?
A trophy.
A trophy. Yes. Was he going to get a title shot at SummerSlam, which was what should have been booked that way?
I don't know. That's a good question, but
no, he didn't.
So what did he win? Just the trophy?
He won the longest time in a Royal Rumble ever.
Wow!
If we're going to count this as a Royal Rumble.
See, I don't know if you should... Okay.
Are we going to count this as a Royal Rumble? That's the
I
question.
don't know, because to me, a Royal Rumble has always been 30-man.
It's a Royal Rumble.
And
it was
the
called
last
that.
time somebody held the longest time to be in a Royal Rumble...
Oh, yes.
Woo! It was Ric Flair in 1992. And so I don't know, is it the only way Daniel Bryan beats it?
What was the prize for that Royal Rumble?
World Heavyweight title shot.
The WWF Championship.
Yep. The biggest prize in the game is what it was.
Mm-hmm. That Wayne Deagle, my favorite belt.
What a great night, though. You gotta admit.
That is the
for being
best
in the
Royal
Middle
Rumble
East
ever.
at this time. Dude, this was the biggest WWE show internationally in the history of the company.
Yes, definitely. I like we said earlier, hit us up, social media, at HaveFunOTI. Tell us the exact numbers, because as of this moment, as of this recording, we do not know the exact numbers. The winner of this greatest Royal Rumble ever was Braun Strowman.
There you go.
They advertised he was going to win a trophy, and he won actually, I think, kind of beautiful green belt. With
a green belt?
A green belt. It looks very similar to the WWE title itself. It's the same plate shape and everything. Instead of a trophy, which I think is better, the main plate of this belt is even better than WWE title because it's boring and I hate that one. Anyways.
You know what's funny about Braun Strowman? You know, this is what I find crazy about Braun Strowman.
Are we going to do this?
Yes, we are going to do this because Braun Strowman is obviously a top-tier WWE wrestler, according to WWE, because they keep pushing him. My thing about Braun Strowman is, it's fucked up because it's easy to hate the guy. Because when you take a first glance at the guy, he feels like your typical roided, muscle-bound WWE wrestler. But if you really watch his matches week after week, if you watch his career throughout the months, for a big guy, he's kind of quick, he's kind of crisp, and he plays his role pretty damn good. I'm not the biggest Braun Strowman fan, but the guy's got skills.
Well, you're right. He is quick. He is crisp. It's not him, it's the way they're booking him right now.
You think so?
Braun definitely, we said earlier that the WWE has been on fire with their shows this year in 2018, and for some reason Braun has been getting the short end of the stick. But he is your winner of the greatest Royal Rumble ever, excuse me, stumbling on my words, and he is now the, I'm going to say Saudi Arabian champion, I assume, because that's what that belt looks like.
I don't know, but what I do know is that this show was awesome.
It was.
This show showed the power of the WWE internationally, not just in the United States. Because I know New Japan right now is extremely popular in Japan,
point.
right? And they come to the United States and they sell
draw
out their
very
arenas in the
well.
United States. But WWE straight up said, "Excuse me, you're gonna go wrestle at a university? We're gonna go wrestle at a stadium."
I will never bow down to Vince, but you've made a very good point about New Japan coming to America on July 7th in San Francisco, California. The G1 special will be here again in the Cow Palace.
G1 special, Cow Palace, San Francisco. Guess who's going to be there? Your favorite host, Abe, Jeff from Have Fun on the Indies. 100%. We're going to be live.
Yes, come find us if you can. And on that note, I think we're going to let you guys go. Unless we have anything else to talk about.
That's all
I think
I have
there's
for now.
one more thing that you wanted to let these guys know about, isn't there?
Oh, that's right. You missed them. Hey, Jeff. Hey, buddy.
What?
Aren't you supposed to be the guy who researches things?
Researches things for what?
What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? There was a guy who's been a legend for the last 25 years in the WWE, and we didn't even talk about his match.
Which one?
You're fired. Undertaker.
I did.
We all realized Undertaker had a match, right?
I covered that. He
you?
buried two men in a casket.
Oh yeah, you
and
did
probably
cover
less than
that.
a couple of minutes.
You did cover that. I apologize.
But what about the match you people need to watch? That's not the name for sure of this. But
Okay, so at the end,
definitely involve.
so
the
here's
dead
what I
man.
feel. Here's what I feel. I feel that sometimes all the matches that help build this industry into what it is today, from the WWE Entertainment style, all the way to the ROH and CZW style, all the way to New Japan Pro Wrestling Noah. I feel that sometimes
Noah's a different class.
I feel that sometimes people forget where we came from. So, every so often, on every podcast, at the end of the show, I'm going to give you a match that I feel will not only educate you, but will entertain you. So today, this match is Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. Look it up. One of the greatest matches in WWE history that's forgotten about, because as we all remember, years later, we had Mick Foley wrestling The Undertaker and getting thrown off that 15-foot cage.
The one you all remember.
Exactly. But there was one that set the foundation for that.
The Hell in a Cell match. The first Hell in a Cell match.
Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. Look it up. Thank you for following Have Fun on the Indies. Follow us on social media at HaveFunOTI. We love you. We'll see ya.
Have fun on the Indies.